The story begins in the castle of the demon, Lord during the night. Inside the hall were corpses lying on the ground. Only one left alive, and it was our main protagonist. He was panting while staring at the demon Lord headed toward him. The demon Lord acknowledged the fact that he's really skilled. This demon Lord is ranked 7th Farza. He's the demon Lord of Würzburg. Jaewoo, an Elector Steel and our protagonist in this story, smirked while slashing his sword and telling Farza that his era will come to an end today. He jumped as he activated his Empirical Sword 12th form. He screamed with confidence that he could end the Demon Lord's life and clear the quest. However, his system window appeared and caught his attention. As per the system, he has been disconnected from the server. Because of it, the Demon Lord got a chance to reverse the situation. Farza told Jaewoo that he's full of flaws. Jaewoo was telling the system to stop the error, but Farza cut his body in half, causing him to be eliminated. The system then declared that he failed to clear the Farza raid quest. At the house of Jaewoo, someone visited him without any notice. These guys were his previous co-workers who came to collect his debt. A man in a suit panicked, as it turned out he accidentally unplugged the connection. The moment he admitted it, Jaewoo was already in front of him with a scary look. "Hey, was it you? Are you the one who unplugged the Ethernet cable?" He asked angrily while pulling the guy out of anger. He let go of the guy while complaining that he basically cleared the game and was almost done, but was disturbed due to a sudden issue. Jaewoo might look like a gaming addict, but he actually used to be really popular. He's Hanum's problem solver, Hanum's brain money goblin. He also used to have a great life. But then he realized how trivial all the things he had been so obsessed with were. The Super AI Aquila's masterpiece, a mega-quality VR game, the savior of humanity, is the one that changed him. A single-player RPG with a giant open world. For him, who had never even read a picture book, this world was magical. Plus, there are beautiful characters of various species. Their stories drew him in and changed him, someone who only used to care about money. So he borrowed some money, all in order to buy a game capsule worth $1 billion. He guesses he can be called crazy. "Hey, Jaewoo, how can you treat me like this when I'm the one who invested money into you so you can game?" A guy said. Jaewoo ironically smiled and reminded them that he covered them all more than just a few times, golfing behind his wife's back, running 2 jobs behind the company's back, and simping for VTubers for 10 years. He was still above the guy, and another guy asked him if he thinks he's one to talk when he borrowed $1 billion just for a game. He looked at him, and the guy trembled in fear. Someone asked him how he gonna pay back just by writing a walkthrough guide for others. He knows he can pay by clearing the game. That's it for the dungeon walkthrough. Unfortunately, he has lost a lot of money and ends up with a small amount. His companions told him to work with them again, but he refused. He hasn't seen the ending of the game yet, the true ending that no one has yet reached. Reaching the true ending is the least he can do to repay this world for having taught him so much. He pushed the guys away, telling them to go home. He closed the door and looked back at his capsule. He touched it and ended up entering the savior of humanity again. He arrived at the Bayern Cathedral. But he was annoyed as he faced the death penalty, which he was suspended from actions for 22 hours. "How am I supposed to earn money then?" he screamed. Someone suddenly told him that he looked like he was struggling with something. He was wondering who it was. Then he saw a lovely lady walking toward him. He asked her identity, and the lady replied that her name is Aquila, the game master of the savior of humanity. However, Jaewoo laughed as he wouldn't believe her just because she's too young. Aquila then told him he shouldn't judge the book by its cover. "Huh, did you think I'd believe you if you just appeared out of nowhere and called yourself Aquila?" Jaewoo asked. Aquila snapped her finger, and everyone around them stopped. Jaewoo thought that Aquila used a time-stopping spell. It is at least an SSS rank skill. The lady sat near him and informed him that the spell she used isn't a skill, but she just downed the server for a bit. She also asked Jaewoo if he wanted to hear the new event for the 7th anniversary. According to her, by 12 p.m., a new world has been opened, and she wants Jaewoo to be the first to clear the game in a new world as a new character. Jaewoo felt insulted since he hadn't even cleared the game with his current character yet. As per the lady, the reward will be 25 billion. She asked Jaewoo if he's scared, and Jaewoo was so pissed of her. "Don't you want to see the true ending of this game? They might exist, you know," she said. She was referring to the clues to reach the true ending. Jaewoo was out of words. The lady added that he can get a free gift if he gives it a try right now. Jaewoo was surprised when he received 30 million won from Aquila, and as per the system, he currently had 30,410,381 on his account. You're my VIP after all, Aquila said. Jaewoo's eyes sparkle, thinking that it won't even matter if he managed to clear the game, as he will be safe for this month's interest payment since he got a reward from Aquila. I'd be an idiot to say no to this kind of event. I'll give it a try, he proclaimed with clenched fist. Aquila then replied, I knew you'd say yes, as expected of a top player. Then I'll send you in right away. She started murmuring words as she was installing something. The people around them slowly dissipate, and they teleported somewhere else. There was a door, and Aquila instructed Jaewoo that this door would lead him to the new world. Before entering, Jaewoo asked the lady if the game would start if he just walked through this door. Aquila replied yes, and a silhouette appeared while Jaewoo was slowly opening it. Hey, Aquila, don't forget about that reward money, he said. He then widely opened the door and told himself he should now go to the true ending. He started entering, so there is no chance of backing out. The lady calls his attention as she forgot to tell him something important. That is, if his character dies in this event, he will die in real life too. Jaewoo was dumbfounded, but there was nothing else he could do. The door exploded. He screamed as he flew away to the forest. He fell on the ground, and he was wondering why he felt pain upon falling, despite that it wasn't real. Now he was wondering if Aquila was serious with his last statement. But of course, he knows in himself he doesn't have a choice but to continue. Before he officially started the game, he screamed his anger, and after that, he clicked start. Late afternoon came. Jaewoo was still roaming around the forest. He was shaking as he felt tired and hungry. He was already holding a stick to support himself while walking. He's still mad at Aquila, and he vows not to forgive her. He opened his status window, and the system stated he's dehydrated. His character was trash as it only has 20 max HP and 3 mana. He has only walked for half a day, but he's already dehydrated, so he cannot think how the hell he's supposed to get the happy ending with this character. Luckily, he heard drops of water. He immediately looked around and saw the falls. He was teary-eyed while being grateful that he had read Bear Grylls' How to Stay Alive book by chance. Screw Aquila, but thank God this game is realistic, he added. He immediately sank his face into the water, and at the same time, there was a lady taking a bath nearby. As he raised his head, he was surprised to see the lady only covered with a towel on her breast. There was smoke that covered some part of the lady's back, so Jaewoo didn't see her clearly. Also, the system notifies that he has lost 1 HP for being too excited. He was out of words while watching the lady without her knowing. The system asked him to pay for the DLC. He got annoyed and screamed, "What? You're making me a VIP, pay for a DLC? I thought this game was the complete edition." More ladies appeared, who seemed to be non-humans, and they told him that he has to pay up to see what will happen after. Jaewoo turned his head behind and asked how much. The last thing he remembered was that he was pulled somewhere. He regained consciousness, and one of the ladies told him that he was lewd. His system also notifies him that he's losing HP, as he only has 1 out of 20 left. One lady got close to his face and said, "If you keep quiet, I'll consider leaving your pants on." The lady then walked away while he was telling her to tell him how much he should pay them. At the same time, one guy was beside him, asking him if he was fine. He rose, and the guy then asked him what he meant to say by how much. However, he doesn't want to tell him. The guy didn't force him to answer his question, but instead introduced himself as Rudd, a monster hunter. Jaewoo then introduced his name in the game, which is Valorstead Valor. According to Rudd, he was unlucky as he ended up coming near the witch's forest while chasing his prey. Jaewoo then also informed him that they had almost the same story. "Not sure exactly what you went through, but that's unfortunate. You still look young," Rudd said, and Jaewoo replied that it's fine to him. While replying, he was trying to reach the sharp item beside him. He looked back in front of him while telling Rudd that this kind of situation is his specialty. He was confident that he had a way out of this mess. That is because he was the one who wrote how to defeat these witches. It took him 3 whole days. 5 Witches of Hovel. This title was given to these ladies because they make their appearance in the Hovel Forest. Their names are Gunda, Kaldura, Aldaida, Fugel, and lastly Hijuju. Even though they're early game bosses that players have to get past, thousands have died to them, so they're pretty infamous for that. But looking closer, they're a pretty unorganized bunch. Jaewoo was licking his mouth while staring at the witchess, letting Rudd wonder what was with his reaction. "Lady Fugle, you're still alive?" he asked. Fugle looked at him, and the system also notifies that he's provoking the lady. Jaewoo also added that he remembers Hijuju clearly saying she'd kill Fugle. Hijuju then reminded him that she had already told him to be quiet. Hijuju looked back at Fugle, who now has hatred toward her, asking her who kills who. Luckily, Jaewoo's provocation on Fugle has worked. "I'm pretty sure I heard her say that she's gonna kill you and take all your assets," Jaewoo added. Rudd behind him was in disbelief at how he knew everything. Fugle was furious, asking Hijuju if what Jaewoo said was true. Hijuju then asked her if she really believed Jaewoo. "It's not like you're even going to use all that money, so why not give me some?" she added while extending her hand. Right now, Jaewoo's provocation of her also worked. Alida can't read the air. She stated that it might be why Hijuju was making an acid bomb. Gunda, at the same time, ignored their argument as she was just waiting for their meal. It turned out she had a big appetite. "What is it? Are you fighting?" "I want to fight too," Caldura said, a witch who loves to fight. The five started fighting, and Jaewoo was enjoying watching them while Rudd was confused and nervous. One might think that these ladies work as a team due to their title, but these witches don't have any teamwork whatsoever. People fight without knowing this. That is why they manage to kill thousands. For Jaewoo, it's so easy to make them fight each other. Since the ladies were fighting, Jaewoo then told Rudd they should now get out, and Rudd was still in shock, telling Jaewoo that he was really something else. Before they left, Jaewoo grabbed the carpet and pulled it. The ladies fell into the huge pot, but they were still continued fighting. Jaewoo then instructed Rudd on where he could see the exit. He also ran away to leave the place while smiling, as he continuously received notifications every time the girls were taking damage. Unfortunately, Fugle's snake wrapped around his leg, and as per the system, it has ensnared him, so his movement is now limited. "Cunning human, I won't die alone," Fugle said. Jaewoo fell to the ground, and he was trying to kick the snake, but it wouldn't get away. Now he realizes that he forgot his character is hell weak as of this time. Fortunately, Rudd went back to him and offered help. He grabbed his sword and cut the snake. He then asked Jaewoo if he's fine, and Jaewoo replied yes, then thanked him. Jaewoo noticed the bow of Rudd, so he asked him if he could borrow it. Rudd then handed him the bow, and as per the system, it has 15 attack points and 30 range. He then pointed the arrow at the witches and released it without any hesitation. He hit the vase above, and the ladies were dumbfounded upon seeing it broken. Hijuju knew it wasn't good for them at all. Fugle asked what was inside the vase, and Hijuju replied that it was the acid bomb. Fugle screamed in fear, and they all trembled while watching the acid bomb drop into the potion where they were stuck. A huge explosion then happened, and lucky for Jaewoo and Rudd, they weren't affected. It's just that Jaewoo lost 1 horsepower as he was hit by debris. "Did we get him?" Rudd asked, and Jaewoo replied, "Don't say that." The system window then declared that an achievement has been acquired, and that the witches ain't nothing. The system also notified he had defeated the 5 witches and obtained a total of 323,760 experience points and 5,000 achievement points. Jaewoo then informed Rudd that they got the witches, and Rudd was glad. Jaewoo was thrilled, thinking that he got pretty lucky at a low level. All he has to do now is get that. "I thought I was done for. You saved me," Rudd said. He was holding a pouch and decided to give it to Jaewoo as a gift of gratitude. As per the system, it is red dragon fruits. Jaewoo was surprised as he could not recall something like this happening in his previous playthrough. As per Rudd, he took these dragon fruits from the witch's nest as they looked valuable. Jaewoo then swallowed some, and the system then notifies that he's now a dragon bone who possesses great might. Luckily, his life now reached 220 max. His other stats also increased. He got an additional 100 strength, 120 dexterity, and 150 health. He felt so lucky knowing that a normal player like him would never dream of having something like this. Rudd smiled at him while he was continuously eating the fruits. Rudd suddenly asked if he was interested in monster hunting. Jaewoo was shocked. He was puzzled at first, but after a few seconds, the system notified that a relationship route with the monster hunter had been unlocked. He cleaned his mouth by licking. He cleared his throat while Rudd was waiting for his response. He then apologized and reasoned that he had things to do. However, he realizes this offer is such an opportunity. He don't have class, so all this massive experience has nowhere to go. And if he leaves it like this, it'll disappear in a month anyway. Rudd said farewell to him, but Rudd stopped when he said he would agree, but it would only be for 3 months. Will 3 months be enough? He asked. Rudd asked if he was really sure that it would only be 3 months, not 3 years. Meanwhile, they started roaming around. Rudd instructed Jaewoo to first head into the forest and hide anywhere he wanted. Then, Rudd will come after him in 30 minutes. Jaewoo thinks that Rudd has made a big progress in having a monster tracking skill from the hunter's skill tree. Jaewoo has explored this forest countless times, so he remembers everything down to the smallest twig. These dense trees throw off his sense of direction. Poison spores from the scattered toxic mushrooms. And ferocious beasts even more dangerous than witches. Most of it is already imprinted in his mind. Plus, with the red dragon fruit, his physical abilities are nearly maxed out. He knew that Rudd won't find him that easily. However, he was puzzled when Rudd easily found him. 50 points, try harder. But because of your passions and effort, I'll give you 10 bonus points. Rudd said. Jaewoo was confused, asking Rudd how he managed to find him. Rudd just told him that his face says he's dying of curiosity. As per Rudd, it has been a while since he had a student who is so fun to teach with. He then gave Jaewoo another chance and told him to give his best shot. After a few hours, Jaewoo has completed the quest, the Hunter's Hazing. A new quest has been updated, which is a Hunter's Trial. He has acquired the class, Monster Hunter, a herbichism skill, an intermediate swordsmanship skill, a survivalism skill, and the musket shooting skill. Jaewoo was very satisfied, and he's finally completely okay working together with Rudd. 3 months later, Rudd was impressed by Jaewoo for mastering everything. Jaewoo won't agree that Rudd believes he mastered it, so he told him to hide somewhere. Rudd then stood and tapped his shoulder while saying, I always admire your spirit. Very well. I'll try hiding. Before he hid, he told Jaewoo he would just be the one making dinner for the night if he couldn't find him within an hour. Jaewoo immediately agreed, as he was confident after all. Rudd then fled to hide, leaving Jaewoo smiling like an evil person. Rudd went down the cliff while laughing, as he was glad to have met such a great apprentice late in life. Still, he doesn't want to make it too hard for Jaewoo. He was sure that Jaewoo won't find him in an hour if he just hides on the cliff. He doesn't know that Jaewoo was already behind him. Jaewoo grabbed Rudd's foot and said, Peek-boo. They tried it many times, but Jaewoo easily found Rudd. Rudd cannot believe that Jaewoo has easily mastered it within 3 months, while he has spent 5 years learning it. The last area where he was hiding was inside the cave. He was sure that Jaewoo couldn't find him at this point, as it was a hellhound's nest. But again, he was startled when Jaewoo appeared behind him and said, Tip number 1 from the Guardian of Humanity, even earthquakes won't wake a sleeping hellhound. He then asked Rudd if he passed, and Rudd replied, Yeah, amazing. They then went back to the forest, and Rudd acknowledged Jaewoo for mastering it within 3 months. Jaewoo thanked him and activated his furious 5-hit skill combo, then extended his hand while telling Rudd it was all because of him. Jaewoo leveled up everything using the massive EXP from Witch Hunting. Rudd told him he's really incredible, as he even remembered all the monster ecology tips he gave him. He doesn't know that Jaewoo knows about Hellhound because he's the actual author of Monster Ecology. I've never met anyone like you before. You're definitely going places, Rudd said. He also asked Jaewoo if he would do the task that he mentioned before now that he has finished the training. Jaewoo then explained that his first plan is to make some money since everything starts with cash. Rudd was glad with his plan, and he informed him he had a close friend working as a mercenary. Jaewoo thinks about it as he believes that mercenary work is the go-to for early income. Most importantly, it's free and flexible. If he's lucky, he might even meet the guardians of the game. He immediately shook hands with Rudd and accepted the offer to be a mercenary. Rudd then handed his old badge to Jaewoo so his friend would recognize him immediately. I wish you luck, Valorstead Valor, he said, and Jaewoo replied, Yes, Master Rudd. Rudd then left him. Jaewoo was very happy that he defeated witches and even gained a class in the past 3 months. He believes this is a great start for him, and he concludes that even a happy ending at this rate might not be out of reach. While staring at the badge, he recalled the question of Aquila if he wants to see the end of the game, as there might be a clue to the true ending. He opened his system and saw that the logout button was not available. He never knows when he will die. That is the thrill of this death game. He will make full use of this tension. He squeezed his face and turned around, telling Aquila in his mind to wait for him, and he swore he would reach the true ending. Jaewoo has completed the hidden quest, Hunter's Trial. A new quest has been updated, the joining of the Mercenary Guild. Right now, Aquila was laughing so loudly while watching the adventure of Jaewoo. That was hilarious, evading the witch like that. Priceless, she uttered. She was glad that she kept an eye on Jaewoo. Someone suddenly came and said, "Is that him? He's definitely not an ordinary guy." Aquila calls her Valfurga, and she asked her if she's into him. Valfurga then proclaimed that she is a good, so she couldn't look that way at a human she's supposed to protect. Aquila then said Jaewoo was cute, but Valfurga stared with annoyance at her. "You're always so serious. You used to be more fun back in the day," Aquila said. Valfurga then told her it was also a long time ago. Then, she asked Aquila if she really repaid the debt of Jaewoo. As per Aquila, it was all settled ages ago. Valfurga feels pity for Jaewoo that he doesn't know his debt has been paid, but is still working for it. She told Aquila she's too ruthless, but for Aquila, it was so entertaining watching Jaewoo full of life. "You're awful," Valfurga said, but Aquila thanked her. Valfurga then directly asked her if Jaewoo was also part of his plan or just her plaything. Aquila laughed and said that Jaewoo is more like a promising talent for. She just likes watching Jaewoo, and she's enjoying it. The next day, Jaewoo felt exhausted after walking for half a day. His legs were in pain. He looked around and noticed that the part of the forest where he stopped was so arduous. He was shaking while forcing himself to stand. He's proclaiming that it's only with this current body that he could make it out in just half a day. Luckily, the mercenary corps is already right in front of him. He then immediately went to the Francois, the best tavern in Frankfurt. Two waitresses then asked how they could help. He felt a bit shy as he answered that he was looking for someone. Jaewoo already expected that Taven is the classic spot for intel gathering. Drink, lively folks, and the amazing smell of good food. If any place could get him info on the mercenary corps, he knows that this is the one. People always talk more when they're in a good mood. And above all, the waitresses are cute. He was blushing since one of the waitresses was clinging to him. He then took the opportunity and asked if they happened to know someone by the name of Rebes Chaltz. Everyone overheard him, and their mood instantly changed. The waitress was shaking. She seemed to be scared. She informed him that the name she mentioned is forbidden in this place. Jaewoo asked them why, and the other waitress, who was also scared, replied that Rebes Chaltz is too dangerous. According to her, her boyfriend was involved with Chaltz once and came back a mummy. Jaewoo got terrified upon hearing it. Others who are inside the tavern also suffered because of Chaltz. Right now, the inn's morale has dropped. Jaewoo started to wonder who this person Rudd had introduced to him. He got confused when the waitress pushed him to go out, telling him that Chaltz would arrive any minute. However, he accidentally bumped into someone. "Who was that?" he asked. The man in front of him had a terrifying aura, was very tall, and had a masculine body. He's none other than Rebes Chaltz. Chaltz instantly saw the badge hanging at the pants of Jaewoo. He immediately pulled it, and he knew this was Rudd's badge. Luckily, Rudd already informed him about Jaewoo, so he concludes that Jaewoo is the one Rudd was talking about. He then laughed and said, "This is perfect. I was just looking for a a companion." Jaewoo was shaking, asking Chaltz to repeat what he said. He felt Rudd was putting him in danger, and swore that Rudd would be dead the next time they met. Chaltz widely smiled at him and said he was just kidding. They went outside and headed somewhere else. They were discussing them being a companion. Jaewoo asked if he's a companion to be dragged into the war between the Prince Elector and the forces of Pezimut. Chaltz then said yes, and he's glad Jaewoo instantly catch on quick. Even though this feels like Jaewoo is getting conscripted to some country's army, he knew this was actually a great opportunity. The Prince Elector is a guardian of this game, one of the electors of Pultz. Through him, Jaewoo concludes that he might get information on the other guardians. A loud noise coming from a horn made Chaltz suddenly say, "Oh, speak of the devil. Here he comes." He hung his arm around Jaewoo's shoulder, and Jaewoo's HP instantly reduced by 30 as he was ambushed as per the system. The profession of the Prince Elector was happening. Everything was different from what Jaewoo expected. He used to be on the opposite side of things. He has just seen the Prince Elector, a guardian, but for him, this prince kinda looks like a villain. He was more shocked when he saw a familiar lady riding in a cavalry. He knew this lady in armor was Valpurgis. While the possession was ongoing, Prince Elector noticed that Valpurgis seemed to be distracted. The lady denied it, and they continued heading their way, leaving Jaewoo in shock. Jaewoo cannot forget that Valpurgis was his companion in his previous playthroughs. But he couldn't save her in any of them. It always ended the same way. While thinking, Chaltz asked him what's on his mind that's bothering him. He casually said no, but he told himself in his mind that even if he has to risk his mind this time, he will reach an ending where Valpurgis lives. Meanwhile, they arrived at the mercenaries' training ground. Jaewoo senses an intense battle between each mercenary, which is why he was smiling. He got startled when Chaltz declared that the sparring was already starting. As per the system, Jaewoo has entered the training ground of Rebe's Chaltz mercenary corps. Perfect timing. We're selecting group leaders through sparring matches. There's money on the line, too, Chaltz said. The one who wins gets pride and cash. Well, Jaewoo only needed to make contact with the Prince Elector, so he guessed he should stay quiet for now. However, Chaltz pulled his shoulder and declared he should also participate. Of course you are. There's no way Rudd would send someone clueless, Chaltz said. Jaewoo was shaking in fear, as he had never expected this to happen. Chaltz then asked anyone to fight against Jaewoo, and since he's a newbie, lots wanted to fight against him. Jaewoo just smiled awkwardly as he couldn't believe he wasn't allowed to object, so he told himself it would be better for him to seize some power first. He then positioned himself in the middle, standing in front of his opponent, holding each sword. His opponent's name was Max. As per the system, Mercenary Max has challenged him to a duel. He pointed at Jaewoo, telling him that he will snap like a twig with one hit because of his body. Jaewoo was annoyed, wanting to tell Max that his body gets 1,000 likes on Starpic. After introducing themselves to each other, Chaltz then asked if they're now ready. He then declared that the duel had begun. Max positioned himself while Jaewoo remained standing. Max charged toward him while screaming, but when he tried to attack Jaewoo, his sword twirled above. Chaltz and the others were shocked. In an instant, Jaewoo surprisingly defeated Max, and he gained an additional 15 points of fame. Jaewoo already expected this, as his strength is on par with an ogre now after eating red dragon fruit. Everyone got more curious about how much strength Jaewoo has, so they all wanted to fight him. Jaewoo then told them one at a time. He never refused any of the volunteers. He defeated one using intermediate swordsmanship, monster binding technique, and monster headbutt. A bald man faced him and said, "This is getting ridiculous. You're all embarrassing yourselves against a rookie. I'll be your opponent." As per the system, this person was Mercenary Charlotte and is now taunting Jaewoo. Jaewoo was shaking since Charlotte's size was too much against him. He opened the system and wanted to log out. But then again, the log out button is not available. "Hey, let me rest a little. 1 minute, just give me 1 minute," he said while stuttering. But Charlotte didn't want to give him a chance and just instantly jumped toward him. Jaewoo, with a puzzled expression, accepted his cursed fate. He closed his eyes and opened them after a few seconds, then told himself he should settle this duel properly. He grabbed Charlotte's arm and pulled him. He then slammed the bald man on the ground using his monster slam. Charlotte instantly passed out, which means Jaewoo still won the duel. Upon defeating Charlotte, he gained an additional 30 points of fame. Chaltz was impressed. His members were also amazed by Jaewoo since fighting against Charlotte was too hard for them. Still, someone wanted to challenge him, but all he wanted to do was rest. Chaltz interfered, telling everyone to move aside. Jaewoo widely smiled as he thought that Chaltz was showing care because he was Rudd's apprentice. "Good. You're chosen. I want you. You are the new group leader for this battle, Valorstead Valor," Chaltz declared. Jaewoo was puzzled for a moment. He unexpectedly became the leader of the mercenaries. The system notifies that the hidden quest, Join the Mercenary Corps, has been completed. A new quest has been updated, the Retake Harfium Hill. Just a guardian of humanity trivia. Charlotte's younger sister, Baptiste, is currently the manager of Francois Tavern. In the city of the Frankfurt Empire, the Prince Elector is currently engaged in a standoff with Pesamut on Harfium Hill. The next day, all the mercenaries were gathered. They were facing their enemies, and Chaltz gave an order to charge. They all charged while screaming, and their enemies were the Orc army. Jaewoo was also included in the battle. Right now, they're aligned with the Prince Elector's forces. Yesterday, Chartles informed them that they were in direct standoff against the Orc army of the Demon King, the Pesamut, and their mission is simple. They should steal the enemy commander's military flag. As per Charles, when their forces break through the enemy's tight formation, they should squeeze through the gap and completely collapse their lines. Mercenaries should keep in mind that their enemies are proud orcs. They're not only strong, but their coordination is the best on the continent. Schultz pointed to Jaewoo and proclaimed that his job as a group leader is to stop the orcs. Even though Jaewoo isn't in favor of his job, he doesn't have a choice but to follow. He was annoyed by the fact that he's in this situation despite that he was just planning to snag some military merit and run away. At the camp of the orc army, the captain received a report there their spearmen are falling apart. The captain was in disbelief. He pulled the telescope and checked it himself. Upon confirming, he commanded his remaining men to smash their enemies to pieces. He was furious as he wouldn't accept defeat. He then gave an order to the other orcs to line up the musket rifles. They started firing, and when they hit the shield of Jaewoo, its durability then reduced by 10, and it now has 220 out of 230. Even so, he remained smiling as he knew that without rapid fire, muskets had to rotate firing ranks. The second rank of orcs is preparing to fire. But then, Jaewoo deflected their attack and ordered the mercenaries to tear apart the enemies while they could. The orc commander was mad that his minions were getting blasted away by Jaewoo. He knew that the mercenaries intended to get the flag, so he was holding it tight as he didn't want them to take it. This flag in his hand carries the proud history of their tribe. The mercenaries, including Jaewoo, are charging at him. And in the end, the mercenaries got the flag and achieved victory. Everyone was so proud of Jaewoo. The system then notifies that he has successfully stolen the military flag. He got an additional 30 points for his leadership and an additional 20 points for his achievement. Now he just has to hold out a little longer, and then the military merit is all his. However, one of his members blew the horn and reported to him that there was some bad news. Their allies are retreating. The orc reinforcements are already right in front of them. Jaewoo was annoyed as he really thought that the victory was on them. Group leader, what do we do? Should we just toss the flag and bolt too? One mercenary asked. Of course, Jaewoo doesn't want it to happen. His companion insisted. As it turned out, they were now outnumbered. They were surrounded by orcs, including the hidden boss, the orc Grand General Calion. It's over, brave human warriors, he said. He proclaimed that the orcs surrounding the mercenaries were all his proud elite soldiers, so he suggested they give up and retreat. He promised that he would honor the mercenaries' bravery and spare their lives if they returned now and leave the flag behind. Like the hell we'd believe that. Come even a step closer, and your precious flag is going straight into Charlotte's underwear drawer. Jaewoo replied. Calion felt insulted that Jaewoo would dare to put their sacred military flag in such a filthy place. Jaewoo doesn't care that he intimidated Calion. He even told him that he would run their precious flag all over the place. One of Calion's minions called his attention, and he knew what the meaning of it was. The mercenaries were shocked when Calion commanded his armies to prepare to fire. Calion then gave an order to fire, and his minions shot their own flags, including their enemies. Jaewoo was trying his best to avoid the bullets. The system also informed him that his intimidation had failed. He was so confused since in his previous playthroughs, this orc army never let go of their beloved flag so easily. He grits his teeth out of annoyance. He looked at his companions, who were now struggling to defend. He cannot accept that the Grand General was brought out, as it seemed to be cheating for him. He also believes there is no way he can take the Grand General with his current fame and rank. He was thinking of a way. His previous playthrough recalls in his mind, and also the last statement of Aquila that he will also drop dead in real life once he dies in this game. He was puzzled for a moment, so one of his members told him he should give orders if he didn't want them to wipe out. He suddenly smirked and loudly laughed, making everyone confused. He then grabbed the trumpet from Charlotte, but Charlotte reminded him that there is no reinforcements were coming to them anymore. Shut up and watch, you pig-faced bastard, Jaewoo uttered. He then blows the trumpet very loudly, but he was told by his member that he got the wrong direction from where their allies are. However, Jaewoo was confident that he knew what he was doing, so he gave them a command to shut up and just block their bullets. It turned out that the loud noise he made was for Aquila to help him, as he believes Aquila won't abandon him. After all, I'm still a VIP, he screamed. Calion then commanded his spearmen to push forward. A gigantic orc then lifted up a spear and intended to kill Jaewoo. Jaewoo was just smiling as he was confident someone would rescue them. The spearmen were suddenly attacked. The attack came from someone who was riding a horse. Surprisingly, it was Valpurgis. She told the mercenaries not to give up and raise their swords. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Till next time.